Yes, sir. What's up, guys?
Yes. This DJ will kick the floor in 3, 2, 1.
On the troll.
Hello, guys, and I'm down, as you can see. We have a serious problem that I cannot put my finger on it. We have done everything, Emily, haven't we? Feels like we're being kept.
Yeah, the internet is still giving us problems, you guys. It's still buffering even now. We've tried everything. Yeah, so it's not really coming together or working out.
Seems like we're being kept, but whoever is keeping us, I don't know why. Yeah, so bear with us, guys. Tell me if you can hear the sound. We have been trying. I mean, since we set the live, we have changed everything that we needed to change, but we're still here. And I guess it's a voice all the way for those who would like to see Emily. Unfortunately, you're not going to see Emily. You're going to have to bear with us. And thank you for those who are still here. For those who went to sleep, sorry, guys. You'll catch up in the morning. I hope that I'm audible from your side. I hope that everything is fine in terms of audio. Emily, you can shoot.
Yeah, guys, sorry for making you wait, but we had to find out and get to the bottom of this interruption that keeps happening every time we have to go live. But for now, we'll just bear with it and see what happens. We'll find alternatives of how to work out these live streams. So Mr. Anonymous, welcome back. This is Mzansi Reality, you guys, and welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the live stream. This is where we discuss the Senzo Meyiwa trial and everything that proceeded in court today. Well, Mr. Anonymous, you saw that attorney Ramosepele got the assistance of an advocate Mgomezulu. What did you think about that strategy or that caving in after what happened last week?
I don't think that was a strategy. I think that for me, I'll call it being selfish, because you know how sensitive this case is. And for you to actually gamble with it like that, for me, it looked like there was a bit of gambling, which I didn't like. Now you come back, and if you have a shark, if indeed this man is a shark, and you are bringing the best, you could have done that long time ago. You should have set this one out. We will discuss
maybe it was
obviously
a
what
matter
happened.
of funds. What do you think?
A matter of funds, how? Where did the funds now come from?
Maybe they got available at that time.
Okay.
So maybe prior the funds were maybe not available for an advocate.
All right.
That's my opinion. I'm not sure if I know what is happening, but it's my own opinion.
Yeah, I guess so. But all I'm saying is that now you cannot question. Because yesterday, you're dealing with people who are different. We discussed this, right? We'll get into this. But yesterday, they allowed you. They said, no, it's fine. You bring that person. And I'm saying they, because there's a judge involved for me. They, Baloyi and the judge. All was good, my lord. Today, we're talking a different language.
Literally. How did you guys find that switch up that Baloyi did to Africans?
No, it's not Baloyi. It started with it. No, forget about that. Oh, talking about the language. But I'm talking about the guy that was allowed. They said, no, we'll find time, suitable time. It's not a problem, my lord.
They were busy preparing.
And the judge comes now with a long story that always.
Section 166.
That story is always looking to wake Baloyi up. It's like, wake the hell up.
Yeah, it's like helping him, right? In my opinion, it's helping him because
It does look like
there's
that.
no need for a judge to go all out and prepare a counter argument to something that has been
There was no
proposed.
argument.
And
They
accept
agreed.
it. They agreed.
They agreed.
And then all of a sudden it changes. And
And
it
they
changes
now-
with preparation of section 166.
Yes.
With another case, state versus what? State versus
Unless these
something.
people can read each other's mind,
Wow.
I don't know, man. They even prepare what they are going to say.
So it was like, Baloi, here, check, take it and run. And he did exactly that. And then it's like, people are saying, Lily Judge. Well, Lily Judge, Vele, because where have you seen a court case where the judge assists the state, even goes as far as preparing arguments for them on their behalf?
Only in this case.
Only in this court case. So it's kind of strange. You're
And
not
obvious
used to
that
seeing
that is our own way of
Where
thinking.
was Rob versus Hepworth this time around?
No, there was no
Rob
such.
versus Hepworth regarding this situation of a presiding officer assisting the prosecutor to do his job.
There was no
Ibizwane.
such. No, there was no such.
Well, Vivian Cronje was the next witness called by the state today. Vivian Cronje is the magistrate who accused number 2, Bongani Ntanzi, allegedly confessed to. She is a magistrate in Boksburg, and one of Bongani Ntanzi's confession statements was taken down in her presence by her in her office. According to Section 217, subsection 1 of the Criminal Procedure Act 51 of 1977, which sets out the requirements for the admissibility of a confession, where a confession is made to a peace officer who is not a magistrate or a justice of the peace. Such a confession must be confirmed or reduced to writing in the presence of a magistrate. Such a confession made to a magistrate or has been confirmed and reduced to writing in the presence of a magistrate is deemed to be admissible in evidence upon mere production, unless the contrary is proved, and that the accused made the confession freely and voluntarily, while she or he was in her or his sound and sober senses, and without having been unduly influenced in making it. So literally, the whole testimony was Advocate Balo in the state, checking everything with regard to admissibility of the statement. And the fact that it was taken by a magistrate, no wonder why he was speaking Afrikaans. He wanted to soften Ms. Cronje up, in my own opinion, you know. So Advocate Judge Baloyi said that there is an audio recording of the alleged confession. There is an audio recording taken by Magistrate Cronje of the alleged confession of accused number 2, Bongani Ntanzi. Now let's talk about this, you guys. Is it okay for a magistrate to be going around recording confessions without informing the people that are being recorded, that they are being recorded? What is happening in South Africa?
Look, it's not okay. But I think on a basis that this person has not said that I'm going to submit this, right? So there is no submission made of that thing. She said, I'm just doing this to remind myself, or something like that. Obviously, once they use it in a public area and or such as this one, then it becomes a problem. But now it is being used. And do you want to take away the fact that this gives you a chance that you do not have, that you didn't have, of being in that house? No. So that's why I think the defense took this. Because, I mean, that's the only thing that, other than hearsays, because everything is written down is what I said is what he said.
Yes.
That's
he
it.
said, she said.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So the best thing is this recording, where maybe the voice, small things can be picked up. Obviously, recording someone is wrong.
Yeah, magistrate, that was very strange of you, but
Yeah,
it
but
is what it is.
the most important thing is that it was wrong.
Maybe there is a recording, maybe it will have something.
Yes,
Aside
that's the only
3
thing.
hours.
Yes, that's the only. Unfortunately, they're not gonna play it for us, right?
No.
You see, that's a problem. But all I'm saying is that I didn't want to dwell on the fact that there was a recording, unauthorized
I'm
recording.
gonna dwell on it because you never know. Life is like rice. Next thing, you are the one in that position and you are being recorded by a magistrate and you don't even know. Okay, think about that. So there are 2 alleged confessions.
There are many things that were broken in those confessions already. Why not break this one and give us a taste of what
was happening
was
in that
happening
room.
in that room?
Connor, the law
I'm
has
not
to
gonna
adjust.
I'm not gonna fault him. The same way I believe, and I'm gonna be honest, the same way I believe that the law should have adjusted, as what Rob Hessoff or something like that. What is it?
Rob versus Hepworth
Rob versus Hepworth.
from 1928.
It should have adjusted, because that's what they are saying. They are saying to us, hey, the case is not a chess game, and it's not where you find yourself in a very advantageous position. Then you feel like, okay, we can correct certain things. And then today we learned that actually that's not the case. There are people that can be in a better position, and it's all good and well. And law must be applied to T.
Okay.
And that's what we learned today. So that Rob versus Hepworth thing, just throw that thing out of the window. It works. It's like an animal farm.
Yeah, it only works for the state. It doesn't work for everyone else.
Yes.
There are 2 alleged confessions by Ntanzi, one to a police officer and the other allegedly to Magistrate Cronje. Baloyi asked the state is going to lead evidence of a statement with a name that corresponds with that of the accused. As far as we are aware, all these statements are going to be disputed. Mgomezulu confirmed that they'll dispute the admissibility of the statement. And Ntanzi's advocate, Tulan Mgomezulu, said the statement was taken under duress and Ntanzi never signed it. It was not made voluntarily and freely. So today we got a taste of what it was like post 1994. Can you imagine people speaking Afrikaans and you are not hearing a thing? But shout out to Jonas, the interpreter. He did a stellar job. He was able to give translations of the language that we are really not interested in 2023. But somehow it just pops up. And when you have your Baloyi's, Advocate Baloyi's entertaining such.
I did say that. Did you see how excited
He
the
was
judge
even
is?
smiling, you know.
No, even the judge is excited.
Kwakumnandi
I have a
that
problem.
a majority of people of color are excluded from hearing testimonies. Not like Cronje could not speak English. She speaks English very well.
She does judgments most of the time
In English. She took
even
Ntanzi's
took
confession
in
in English. So
What
why
was the
now
point
the
of
switch up?
speaking Afrikaans now?
It's just to rub it into us that we must be excluded from the conversation or excluded from her examination in chief.
Did you see these ones of ours? I don't know how you Afrikaans are.
Mevrouw Cronje, Miss Cronje, sucking up to her. I'm like, what is happening today?
I told you about this judge.
Can't it in
I'm not gonna say but I told you about this. This judge,
sis.
she's always excited when the certain people are coming. I'm not gonna say a lot, but
I was cringing the whole way through. I'm like, really? You're gonna do this in 2023? In front of us, in front of Pam Guabantu, you're gonna show us how you made it to the top. Really? Please, no. No. I was not feeling that at all. So Baloyi was definitely on a mission today. They were like, those K-word people, leave them out of this. Let them figure out what we are saying. Okay, and that's how I felt, in my opinion. Okay. So Cronje said that she has been a magistrate since the 1st of July 1996. Her permanent appointment as a magistrate came a year later. So Cronje was a prosecutor previously from December of 1990. Okay? Baloyi said, I am showing you a document. Can you identify it? And Cronje said it is a confession taken on the 24th of June 2020. Cronje said, I have the original document in front of me without the portions you have indicated were redacted, and it was made on the 24th of June 2020. The senior magistrate in Vosloorus, Ms. Du Plessis, contacted me on the 24th of June 2020 at 11 a.m. Now, Baloyi did it again. That statement from Ms. Cronje, he redacted some of the other parts of the statement again.
I just want to, this is just a thought-provoking question as to say, what those learned friends of ours in this faculty of law, what is the status of something such as a confession if I confess without being read my right? In their language, in this case, they call it. I'll tell you the name, but it's Miranda warning. What if it happens that in the very same statement that was taken later, where I was read all my rights, given everything, that Miranda warning, and then, but the first time it happens that I said whatever that I said without being given that Miranda warning. What happens in the very same statement? Is that statement still admissible? And I know that it obviously depends on the circumstances. Now and then it depends on how you can argue your way out in this. But the reductions that are happening are mainly on that, in my own feelings, that whatever that was said before there was that Miranda warning, it is redacted. Whatever confession or whatever incriminating, whatever results that you ended up creating, it is reduced, it is removed, and it's okay. And I saw today the judge was looking like, he tried to question it, but he realized that it's actually now putting Baloyi under pressure, and then he's like, okay, it's fine, those reduction, it's fine. I don't know if you noticed that.
I noticed that he wanted him to put everything on record, and somehow he let it go, and I don't understand why.
No, that's always the case. I mean,
there was a time Ramasipili was made to read an entire 2 to 3 page statement, while he only needed to use 2 sentences from that statement. And he
that
said
was after it was being used
must
by
be
someone
read
else.
into the record. Rob versus Hepworth. But this time it was not brought up with regards to Baloyi. How many statements has he redacted things from?
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
It's him. It's the state. They can do whatever they want. They're building their case.
Yes.
So the senior magistrate in Vosloorus, Ms. Du Plessis, contacted Ms. Cronje on the 24th of June 2020 at 11 a.m. She asked her to take down a confession at Boksburg Court. She and other senior magistrates were in no position to take down the confession because they already were involved in the matter as per section 205 of the very same matter. Now this is interesting. How were they involved precisely, exactly? in this matter, and how many of these magistrates were involved in this matter, so much so that they couldn't take the statement. They had to recruit you, Miss Cronje. How convenient to come and
they
take
said what?
the
They
statement.
were already involved.
Yes, they were
this
involved in the matter as per section 205 of the very
Or maybe
same matter.
the senior was the one who was sitting maybe for, but I don't think there was even bail
I would
hearing.
like to understand
At
the
what level
depths,
were they
yes,
involved?
Were they involved?
Yes.
It's something we, the public, the court of public
Because by
opinion,
what
want to know.
by what we said in this confession, that this man had not bathed for 8 days, and there is a possibility that that man had not seen a magistrate for 8 days. So
While the
at
law
what
says
level
48
were they
hours.
involved? Because maybe one might come and say, I'm involved already because I have already sat on his whatever, or bail hearing, or I don't know, whatever. But I'm involved already. I would not like to hear certain things unless they are in a trial.
48 hours apparently you're supposed to appear before a magistrate. And Bongani Ntanzi, accused number 2, 8 days without bathing.
That would mean that there was no appearance in court, unless, of course, somewhere, somehow, a document might mushroom and say, in fact, this man did see a magistrate.
Now, she says she arrived at the court at 14:25 p.m. She says she then proceeded to the office which was pointed to her and prepared for her. In the passage, she found a strong contingent of Ekurhuleni Metro officers who were armed. Can you imagine the whole 8 officers who were armed?
On
On the
other
one side,
there's only allegedly 2. Was it 2 or 1?
so on the one side of the passage, she says she saw a young man who was handcuffed. He was standing away from the movement of the Metro Police. Okay, so all of those police officers, and some people are shocked as to how there is a confession. Are you all for real? In my opinion, I'm like, but he confessed. I'm like, even the magistrate noticed the huge amount of police officers with firearms. And Yola, like, he confessed. Okay, fine. Constable Lensering was not impressed when I asked for a list of Metro police officers who were there and the person accompanying the man in handcuffs. Lensering was informed this was needed. So Lensering initially mentioned to Ms. Cronje that he felt intimidated by her. Now listen to that. The magistrate is asking for the names of all these police officers that are here in this precinct.
Yes.
You know, and Lensering is like, I feel intimidated by your presence. What in the hell is that? What is that?
If they were intimidated by one person, what about 8?
What about 8? And why was he refusing with the names of all these police officers?
And look, I know most of you are gonna say this person also took a brown envelope or might have. Obviously, it's alleged here. There is a feeling that there are brown envelopes and whatnot, right? It's alleged. We are just alleging here because there's nothing concrete that we have.
Yes.
But I think this magistrate is correct to a certain extent, and I'll tell you why.
Why?
Based on our history with them, and then I'll explain the issue of not recognizing maybe Bongani might have been beaten. Based on the history that we have, most people do not care about. It's like you seeing something happening to these people, you would hardly stop. There's maybe a tire punch, people just pass.
Yeah.
So I feel like that was the same thing. Do you understand? Of, I don't care about the rest. I'm here to do my filing. I need to make sure that I tick all the box. So
And
asking,
cover myself.
Yes. I feel it's not gonna be easy to get through these people. It's not easy. More especially if you come from our side.
Yeah.
But what she might have failed to do is to actually evaluate the physicality of the person properly, not because maybe she couldn't see some things, but she was like, as long as I'm ticking the box, I'm fine. I don't care about the rest. That's my feeling. That is the part. And then the rest of the things that were done there, and what we are being told, and the narrating of the story, I feel that there's a bit of a truth. You know, all that unfolded, and to show that is not even, she doesn't even care about these people. She's even saying that there were 8. She's even saying that there were people who felt intimidated. You know, the story sounds more legit.
Okay.
In fact, it favors more a defense in a sense, to say that, why would you say you are intimidated if you are doing the right thing?
It was very strange, it's strange that you don't want to give the names of the people that are there arresting a person. And
obviously there is going to be a ruling, and the ruling is probably already done. My feeling is that the ruling, this trial within trial, definitely,
they just want this evidence
it's just
admitted.
It's just a tick, yeah. The ruling is done, basically.
Yeah, it feels like it. So after I then informed him why the list was needed, I then moved into the office. I then set up my PC and then went out to the senior magistrate and was provided with a blank pro forma, and it's the one before the court. At the same time, the interpreter came in, the man in handcuffs and the man accompanying him in a suit. Sergeant Mohani informed me he was from the National Cold Case Investigation Unit, and he was the person who brought the deponent to the office. So Sergeant Mohani was requested for his appointment certificate, and I asked him to make a copy of it. I also asked for the appointment certificates of all the Ekurhuleni Metro Police officers there. It was brought to my attention that all the officers had left the passage. I didn't count how many were there, but approximately 8. So they left. They vanished. They left. All those 8 as soon as she's asking for the names, they vanish. So Sergeant Mohani told me 2 officers would remain at the door and copies of their appointment certificates were provided. So he only provided for 2 of them that were outside of the door. So there's like 6 that is unaccounted for. And probably the questions would be, is that normal? Since you say that you have not normal procedure. But is that normal?
You, based on your experience, you said you have taken about 50 confessions. Is that normal that you would see a convoy of police, and then when you start asking questions as per your duty, that's what you are supposed to do, and then all of a sudden there's a reduction of the number? Did you feel comfortable after that this person was delivered by 8 people, but only 2 people had to account for that? What was the other 6 doing then?
It would explain perhaps why she even records, maybe. You know.
So such questions, even though we feel that the decision is already done, and that's our feeling. Obviously, we're not saying that that's the case. Even though we feel so, but such questions would help to actually make someone think, and that is if that person was neutral. to say
And
that
honest.
there was accountability. There was no accountability for the others, and that can be looked at as maybe those are people that were actually manhandling this man, and they were just fleeing the scene in that case. Because where are we gonna get them now?
Where?
You know.
They
And most
refused.
probably those ones who remained, they felt more cleaner than the others. You know, don't you feel that would be the case based on your experience? And then obviously, I'm just soliciting the answer here, and I'm not saying that you could know these things, but I'm just saying it because it would surprise me as a person who was supposed to do my job, and if I start questioning, people start moving and disappearing. Didn't you feel that maybe right there and there's a problem?
Would you say that everything that was happening, especially with regards to this movement of police officers, was something that you are used to? It's a norm that you arrive, there's 100 police officers. As soon as you start asking for names, they vanish and you are left with 2. So that is something that I feel should be. There's something there. There's something. And yeah, it would explain why she even records, because wow, a lot is going on. So after Mohani gave all the details, she says, I asked him to leave and the door was closed. Inside remained myself, the interpreter, the man in handcuffs, and the man in the suit. I then spoke to the man in handcuffs in an informal way to make him comfortable. I spoke to him in English and it was interpreted. In that conversation, he informed me Mr. Mjiako was his lawyer and he would like to proceed with him there. Now, this is very interesting that there was a lawyer present in that confession that represented accused number 2. So Mr. Mjiako then confirmed that he was the legal representative of the person before me. Now, who is this Mjiako and where is he now? Okay, a lawyer who accompanied their client to go and make a confession, not once but twice. Who hired him? Was it accused number 2 himself?
Yes, it would be very interesting. And at what capacity?
At what capacity?
Is this person hired? Is he paid direct by this accused number 2, or this was just one of those that would come and say, "Hey, please admit."
Can we see the proof of payments, please? And it's quite interesting that your client had not bathed or taken a bath for 8 days, and that
you
was
still
none of
were
your
looking for
concern.
confession.
You were concerned more of a confession than actually getting him to be in a state that was more humane, or even getting him to contact his loved ones, a
And
family member, anybody.
To corroborate this story, Emily,
Very interesting.
I saw something that you sent me. Was this a paper?
It's an article snippet.
When was it written?
I'm not sure when it was written. I got a screenshot, and it's quite interesting. Which one
But
should
it
I
was
start with?
before this whole shenanigans that we are seeing now happen.
Yes, there's an article from IOL. Senzo Meyiwa accused Drob's lawyer for wanting to force me into confessing to a murder I didn't commit. So this is an article from 2021. It was published on the 5th of March, just before or after they appeared at the Boksburg Magistrate Court. It says here, Bongani Ntanzi said he would like to now apply for legal aid because the lawyer he currently has wants him to plead guilty to a murder charge. So that was the news around the time.
So
Says that this lawyer was allegedly forcing him to confess to a crime he says he didn't commit.
Is this a legal aid lawyer? What happened? Is it okay, fine.
From the rumors I am hearing, Kutiwa he's an advocate allegedly. And now I have to wonder, an advocate, did Bongani have money to pay for an advocate at the time?
And from what we are hearing, if you remember very well, we are going to corroborate the story of. Okay, let me not go there because I don't remember whether this is public or not. But there are cases that are ongoing right now of certain advocates that would hear about that they actually are dealing with clients direct. Isn't an advocate supposed to be appointed by an attorney?
It's supposed to be
Where
appointed
is
by
that
an
attorney that appointed this advocate for Ntanzi?
Who was the one who was supposed to be taking instructions from Ntanzi?
Yes. If indeed this person was an advocate at the time, it would be very interesting to have such questions, because from where we are standing and from what we know, an advocate is not a person we can go direct to. You would need to go through your TT and Ramusipili. Yes.
Before you can get access to an advocate, yes.
Who appointed this person for Ntanzi?
It's very interesting. He must come and explain.
But that's the thing. I think law prevents that from happening.
Why?
You cannot testify against your client.
He's no longer his client, Mos.
But does that waiver the secrets that you have? I mean, remember, this law is all about integrity, and that's what we've been told about a lot. Integrity, ethics, and whatnot.
But this lawyer... Then she says, I proceeded with the completion of the document, and he said he was Bongani Ntanzi, accused number 2. I asked him whether he had any medical condition or injuries and noted it as such. Now, is it normal to ask for medical conditions and injuries?
Under normal circumstances where the systems are functioning properly, you would expect to have someone from medical side to do the checkings and everything. But, well, this is South Africa. What you say...
Magistrate who can eye on the medical condition and injuries.
Yes, they...
Where is she getting involved in such?
They are giving their unwanted opinion. Because if I was to ask... would you be able to recognize a person who's damaged internally?
You won't be able to answer that.
Yes.
And we all know that the torture, they don't torture you in a way that they leave you with bloody scars.
No.
They put plastic bags over your face. There's so many creative ways that they've learned in the force to get people to go through the torturing. You know, remember even with Togo, he was describing that long night he had. Did he leave with any visible scars? I don't think so. I don't remember him saying that this scar, I got it from police officer Sban. He was describing about how they were using pipes. They were using
and how he would pee on himself.
Yeah. So why would they leave him with visible scars? So Baloyi then said that they should save these details for later. Have you previously taken confessions? Asking Ms. Cronje, and asked how many. And Cronje says it's difficult to say, but not less than 50. So Baloyi asked that she goes through her written statement, and Mevrouw Cronje wasted no time in reverting back to English because she said she wrote the statement in English. Ne? So after going through all the standard questions and taking down the confession, everything was interpreted back to him. I asked him to sign each and every page in front of the interpreter and his lawyer that he was satisfied with. It was noted the dependent was confident and had good eye contact. Now this is funny.
Hence I'm saying that right there and there, somewhere, somehow, that element of not being sympathetic with each other as the so-called, what do they call us? The mixed nation? What is it?
The Rainbow Nation.
Rainbow Nation. It kicked in.
So she also threw me off when she said he was happy. He was happy to make the confession. I'm like, what? Do you know what a happy person looks like? Describe how happy he was.
What? Well, to leap in her defense, Ntanzi is a person, from my observation, if you look at him, under pressure, under difficult circumstances, he's got that smiley face. And many people have been saying, "Hey, why is he laughing?" If you remember in court, he I think that's the way he shows his.
No, but it doesn't take common sense to see that you can't make such a conclusion when there's 8 police officers that you pass by with guns, and then you come to such a conclusion that a person is happy under those circumstances.
Yes, and you
That's
cannot.
troubling.
But also, I mean, if you, as I said, in passing, I always don't like it.
So
For
he saw
example,
the
I
smile.
I don't like it. For example, when people of no color smile when they greet me, and that smile finishes within a second. I don't like that thing. I don't smile back. You know that if you really don't care, you would think that they are smiling, right?
They're not smiling.
Yeah. So
in me,
the
in
smile
my
lasts only
experience,
for seconds. I don't know if you guys have noticed that when you come across them, there's
it
that
looks forced.
that it's like a forced smile, and I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't even smile back.
You see it a lot even when you are about to spend a lot of money as a person. You may misinterpret that for kindness. They're just happy
No,
to take your money.
I don't like it. I don't like that grin. What is it?
How are you, mister? How are you? Thank you so much. As soon as you leave,
I don't like it. I prefer
Back to
people
normal.
who are real. Like, laugh, smile if you need to smile, and smile like the
Be
way you're
genuine.
supposed to. Be genuine.
Be
If I don't smile, then that's it. It's okay. So Ntanzi has that thing. He is that person. Maybe when he gets angry, he smiles. I know people like that would smile when they get angry. They smile because they are angry. I don't know whether they are trying to hide their feelings or whatnot.
They're trying
But they
to
can
not
actually moor you.
overreact.
They can
They're
actually
trying to
moor
not
you.
get to that point where they overreact and they're responding to rage.
They can
There are
actually moor
people
you
like
with that
that.
smile.
Yes.
They would hit the hell out of you with that smile. So I guess Ntanzi is one of those people, because I've seen him. He's under serious
when
pressure,
the pressure
immense
comes,
pressure.
he smiles.
He smiles though, and people confuse that. Even our people confuse
Yeah,
that.
they're
The clever
thinking,
blacks will be like, "Oh, why
he's
is he
guilty.
smiling?
Why is he laughing?"
Yeah.
But that's how he responds to
I've never
situations.
seen him like really laugh. I've seen that passing smile, and his teeth are very they are so wide, so it's easy to see. Dark people have white teeth.
So yeah, handcuffs. He says the handcuffs were loose and not tight. He had no visible marks on his face or hands. Then there was a tea break for 15 minutes. The most interesting thing that I personally observed was that while Baloyi asked for this tea time, he asked for it in Afrikaans, and the judge was entertaining him. It's like they wanted Mefro Cronje's attention for some weird reason. Then the courtroom quickly felt like, we are in those times. But I was like, is there need to ask for tea break in Afrikaans? Baloyi, you're doing too much. Okay, so Baloyi then after the tea adjournment said that there's a recording of the confession that he received this morning, and the view from the defense is that they needed to proceed and they listened to the recording overnight before they cross-examine. I had a problem with this. Why couldn't they play the recording in court so that everyone could hear? So if the defense are listening to the recording, when will they have time to brief their clients about what's in the recording? What is going on? Like, what is going on? Honestly, I'm concerned. 3 hours worth of a recording, and you are told you listen to it overnight. When are you going to brief your clients about what's in the recording? When do you get that time? Tomorrow you're cross-examining. What is happening in that court? Again, he redacted some of the things which should not be heard at this stage. And he says he plans to use them at a later stage.
So the recording is edited?
Those 3 hours are edited. There's some things that are redacted. So there's more, perhaps, on top of the 3 hours of recording that he redacted.
So why...
He's redacting with ease.
Why are they not looking for the original? Because we know with editing, you're never going to win with Baloyi. I mean, we have seen with the pictures and whatnot.
Ms. Cronje, we need that full recording for ourselves.
Why aren't we getting the full recording?
Exactly.
And I'm surprised these people, they still trust this guy. Why are they not submitting the fact that, okay, we already have the redacted statement plus the statement that is the original statement. So we might as well have the redacted that our learned friend wants us to focus on, but we would prefer to also have the original tape.
And another thing, there's too much redacting happening to claim that this is admissible at this stage. It is too much redacting happening.
No, it's okay. If they allow that reduction the way it is, but at least try to find the original source of that thing.
Yes,
because with that original
and
source,
have it.
then you can canvas, you can try to persuade these
And
people.
we all know Advocate Nxumalo is good with that.
Yes. So
Why don't they
now
wanna
they are
give them
given
the
a
full
redacted.
redacted-
Maybe
redacted
the redacted
statement,
part is
redacted
that
confession.
one where he's saying that I'm actually feeling pain in my body. This is redacted.
What if? Anything is
And
possible.
you see what this trial within the trial is gonna do. It's gonna accept.
Yes, and
And
then
this thing will go to the main trial
with redacted.
with redacted version, and the truth that is actually distorted in a sense. We can literally, it's not redacted, it's distorting whatever that comes out of that thing.
Oh my God. The statement is inadmissible as it must still be proven. So the judge said is if it quotes or cited in any of the arguments, this court has to listen or see it. Now this is the part where the judge wanted everything to be put on record.
And now everyone was just sitting down.
Now for the first time in a long time, I actually felt like maybe Judge Rata is fighting for justice here, because what? And then, Kanti, that's not the case. How do I arrive at a finding, whichever way, when half the evidence is not before me? This was him asking. So it's either it's used or not used. But if it is used, the law is clear. And Baloyi said, we agree on, hence we do not want to use it at this point. But my colleagues apparently want to decide whether they're going to use it or not.
On a distorted one.
The suggestion is that we proceed at a later stage. You know that later stage will never come, right? So the judge asked, when you say at a later stage, so it means that Ms. Cronje is not going to be cross-examined if she finishes her evidence today. And then Baloyi said, no, not today, my lord. We have just checked her availability tomorrow. She did indicate that she will avail herself tomorrow. And the judge said, is that so? Cronje said, that's correct. Now, Advocate Ngomezulu said that the witness should complete and finalize the examination, and Chief, the matter is stood down until tomorrow morning to continue with cross-examination of the witness. And the judge said, yeah, fine, as long as it will begin at a later stage. So Advocate Mshololo said the information the state has disclosed, it relates to the witness who is currently testifying. We have not been given the opportunity to listen to the audio of this alleged confession. It has just been disclosed to us now during break. My reasons for objection, my lord, is that it is crucial to listen to that portion of evidence before this witness testifies. And the judge said, but it's in the middle of her testimony. Yabana, I was very, very mad and angry, because I'm like, this objection is very valid. You understand? There's no reason why she should continue testifying after she has given evidence that needs to be listened to. Why can't they pause, listen to the recording, and then she can continue with her testimony?
Yes.
What was so difficult about that?
Yes. Like any other evidence that is in front of this judge, it was given before. Obviously, Baloyi keeps on surprising us now and then with a lot of mushrooming people coming with statements of 2023. But all I'm saying is that such evidence coming from a learned friend,
crucial.
who's very,
you don't just listen to it in passing.
who's aware
You'll
of,
be
of what happens in
attentively
court.
listening to that recording.
And what that does is now you have given your testimony, and
Yes.
now they must do a reverse.
Oh
They
my
must listen
To your
and then try to match what you said. Listen, try to match. But if you could have given these people in advance, they would have already created a narrative on this thing. They would know. Now they'll be fitting your voice as you are testifying.
Yes.
So it will be easier for them to ask questions that are relevant. But now it's a very difficult exercise that Baloyi didn't have to go through, because Baloyi is what we call privy to this evidence.
Yes. Yes, and he prepared. He
And
prepared
I
his
can
examination.
I can obviously, this is my own thinking. I can literally put my hand on in the fire. Baloyi had this evidence long time ago. And this is,
I wouldn't even be shocked.
this is my assumption. This is my assumption, and I'm alleging, obviously. I'm not saying that, but knowing Baloyi how he operates.
The strategy
probably
was
have.
refined, even speaking in Afrikaans. So there's no telling. He probably, if we speculate, he probably had the information way prior, and he's been sitting on it, not wanting
No,
to
in
submit
fact, in fact, why I'm even saying allegedly, the fact that it is reduced, that would mean that
and
he had,
redacted, he's had it
yes,
for quite some time,
Yes.
that he's had time to listen to it
Yes.
over and over and over and know what to redact and what to keep in there.
yes.
We're not falling for that. In fact, let's remove this alleged, because that's what exactly happened.
The fact that it is edited,
Redacted.
it means that he had
He's
it.
had quite some time with that evidence in his hands. So, yeah, and the judge said, but it's in the middle of her testimony. And Mshololo said the state decided to disclose the new evidence in the middle of the testimony, my lord.
And that is my worry, Emin. That is my worry. When Nis was submitting that, we have a problem with these bits and pieces that were being given in terms of, and this is what we're talking about. This
It's
is what
like-
Nis was talking about. And how Balo is doing this thing, he makes it look like the defense is the one that is stalling this case.
Yes.
But he's actually
The one.
the one, because he's giving things later.
Piece by piece.
Piece by piece, yes.
Piece by piece.
Sometimes
by piece.
even had to be forced by the judge. So it makes it look like the defenses they were, because
They're
they
not
always need
prepared.
time.
Because I
to
keep
go and
hearing people
prepare.
saying the defense is weak. They're not prepared. Then what were they supposed to prepare after they received the evidence today? Come on, guys. Come on. Medulla oblongata must work. You are in that position where you're representing somebody, and evidence keeps coming while you are there in the courts.
No, Nat, we hear you that you're saying that there's confession that obviously is not supposed to be in a trial within trial. But remember, our learned friend here, Mr. Vasilina, said he had reduced. So that would mean that confession is out.
Yes. And redacted.
Yes, same as he did with statements, right?
Yes. And the recording today, and Ms. Cronje's statement as well.
So
They're redacted.
there's a reduction and redacted.
So the judge said no, but if I understand Mr. Baloyi, he says he initially did not intend to use that evidence. Wow, this feels like a trial by ambush. Every day, you are ambushed with new evidence. New evidence. I can only imagine. I can only imagine. They have patience. They have patience. Not everybody has that kind of patience.
What can you do if God is sitting on a throne there and is about to unleash if you do not adhere? You would have patience. That's what I hate about South African law. There's too much respect to these judges.
Yeah, and they treat people, they intimidate people. Even this whole process of Advocate Mshololo raising this objection, it was filled with so much distaste and disrespect. And I feel like because she's a woman, he's even enforcing, because I don't see him speaking like that with the rest of them, except for Mnisi. But even Mnisi, the approach is kind of different. And Advocate Mshololo is very calm for some weird reason. But I feel that thing that because she's a woman, the way he dismisses her, it's very disturbing.
I'm sure for Mshololo it must be a nightmare dealing with such a judge, and I'll tell you why.
Why?
Currently, he's in a case of President Zuma, right?
Yes. Advocate Mshololo.
With Advocate
Dalimpofu.
And the treatment there is with utmost respect. And then you come back to this case where you are told to sit
down. Yeah, like it's so demeaning, and one day we have to talk about it.
And you know what it does? It sort of provokes the reaction from these advocates people, and then after that, the what you call IP something. LPC.
That's when they decide to intervene. But right now they are watching this case and they're not saying anything about how this judge speaks to these defense counsels.
Like they are young kids.
Like they're children.
But then when the judge complains about being disrespected, it's a problem. And you go complain about being disrespected as an advocate, I would believe, and my feeling is that you would not be taken serious as the judge. You would still be taken serious, but then you would have now to tread carefully after that. And that's a problem because the power that these people are given is too much.
So Baloyi then came back and said, indeed, my lord, it was just for the purpose of being open and transparent with the defense. He was speaking like he's giving the defense a favor. You know, he's making them a favor by giving them all of this evidence. Hebatung. Then the judge said, I listen when people talk. And Mshololo said the state may not be intending to use it, but as a defense also once it was mentioned that the evidence is available. And the judge said, you are entitled to it. Mshololo then said, we are entitled at least to listen to it, so that we are able to take proper instructions, whether we are of the same page with the state. And the judge said, no, fine, I don't have a problem with it. You're entitled to it because in terms of the case, State versus Chabalala, any information which is in the docket of the state, the other information should be made available. And Mshololo said, I'm asking for the opportunity to listen to it now. And the judge said, no, let her finish her testimony and then you can listen to the audio. So the judge basically wanted Ms. Cronje to finish with her testimony, her evidence in chief, and then they'd be given the opportunity to listen to the audio, which I didn't find fair. Then Mrs. Cronje comes and she's cross-examined by all of you, no problem. Mshololo then said, it's fine, my lord, if the order is coming from the court that I cannot listen to that video until the witness finishes. And the judge said, I never said that, but that's what you said, Judge.
That's what you said.
That's what you said.
I don't understand why this judge is always jumpy when they
you
are
said
saying
exactly that they must wait for Ms. Cronje to finish with the evidence in chief and then listen to the audio. Now Mshololo is emphasizing that if the court is saying that, then who am I to argue? You said exactly that. So Mshololo said, my apologies, my lord. I never said that, the judge. I say you are entitled to that video in terms of State versus Chabalala. You are entitled to it. So he's trying to use this word entitled to put Mshololo in a trance to believe that he did not say that they should wait for Ms. Cronje to finish. I don't understand. He was playing with this word, entitled to it, as if it's a candy dabbled in front of Advocate Mshololo that she should take it and then accept or shut up or sit down or whatever. But he can decide not to use it, like he says. He intended not to use it. It's fine. But this witness has been sworn in. He's in the middle of evidence. Let her finish. And then after, we stand down, her cross-examination. In the meantime, anyone who wants to listen to it can do so. So that when the cross-examination starts...
I'm worried about his quietness when it comes to reprimanding Baloyi and how he actually... collaborate the evidence and brings the evidence to the presence of these people. He's quiet. He's not saying anything, and he's blaming more on these ones. Not to say the confession was there.
Yes.
And I hear people are saying the confession was there, but I do not think that most of you had an idea that there was a recording with this judge.
No. Or there were two confessions. You only knew that there's a confession. You didn't know that there were two confessions, one taken by a police officer, one taken by a magistrate. And you know why it was taken by a magistrate? For this moment right here happening in the court right now. And you didn't know that this magistrate recorded it. Those are the things that you didn't know. I hear you are saying confession, but you didn't know these aspects of that confession. So you're fortified with information in the video and everything. What is the problem there? And then Mshololo said, my request was that I'm asking for an opportunity to listen to this audio now, my lord. And the judge said, and then the witness, Mshololo said, the witness can stand down. And the judge said, until when? Mshololo said, maybe until after 2 p.m. So maybe we'll be done with that video. And the judge said, your application is refused. Just continue, Mr. Baloyi. So the state said the audio is 3 hours long, this alleged confession. So the state continued with Ms. Cronje's examination in chief, and Cronje confirmed the proceedings when the confession was taken down were recorded. Cronje says that the recording was not done for official purposes, and Baloyi asked were the parties informed that there was going to be a recording, and Cronje said no. Cronje said that Ntanzi appeared sober, relaxed, and calm, maintained eye contact, made the request to contact family, to have an exchange of clothes, and call his child. And you didn't find that odd that he'd been captured for approximately 8 days, and he's asking you, female.
No, in fact, that's their line of defense. These people to say that our client was they must move like Baxter. They have evidence. Nandi and Baxter. They must move like that. Our client was captured. They didn't even went to go to see the magistrate up until 8 days.
So as a magistrate, you didn't find that odd that he's asking you for family, to have an exchange of clothes, and to call his child? You didn't find that strange. So Cronje said, I asked the deponent if he had any medical conditions or injuries. He said he does not want to report apart from a heart problem and hasn't bathed since 16 June 2020. He conveniently left out that he was beaten, right, in the statement. The question was asked.
So it will be very interesting to know between the two statements, which one came first. I would assume the one that came first is the magistrate one. Then the second one would be the police one. And why I'm saying that is because, and why, in fact, I submitted that this magistrate is probably difficult not to crack. And why I say that, when you read the statement that is actually putting, somewhere somehow is more favoring the defense if they are smart. And then the police one would be the smooth one, I would assume. where there is no 8 days of not bathing and whatnot. So that is to collaborate what the magistrate has already said, and that's my thinking.
So a question was asked, who brought you to my office and for what reason? He replied that Sergeant Mohani escorted by Metro Police. So, yeah, the police told me to come to court to make a statement, and I want to make a statement. I'm happy to make a statement.
Yeah, no, let us correct this. Nati, Mkwanas, and viewers. A trial within a trial is obviously not going to look at the meat of those statements. We know that. It is mainly looking
Admissibility.
Why they are looking at that? They are looking at whether these Miranda warnings that I was talking about, they were followed properly, stuff like that.
Procedure.
So before we even touch the context of these statements, we are looking at whether it was obtained correctly,
lawfully,
it's
legally.
like you being arrested, and then when you arrest, maybe you were searched by, or something happened,
You were not read your rights.
You were not read your rights and whatnot. They
Your
don't go to the crux of the case.
Searched without a warrant.
Yes.
Such things.
They don't go to the to crux of the case. They look at was the procedure of arresting a person followed. If it was not followed, then your case is dismissed. Because it was not followed. We don't even need to look at the context. We are aware of that and we understand. But our submission is very clear, is to say that the reduction, if you remember very well, the reduction that Baloyi has been doing is to remove the crux of the statements, even the ones that are written. And there's why Emil was saying that, why they are not playing the recording, is because we mainly assume that based on the fact that he said he redacted, then that would mean that the crux of whatever that video is or that voice is, it is removed. We are only dealing with the nitty-gritties of how the information was obtained.
Yeah.
I think we have clarified, because I see there's who's this Jabu? I'm not sure. I'm just gonna say this. The fan. There's a fan, Jabu Teles.
Oh, Jabu Teles is always
it's everywhere.
opposite.
SAPC, yeah. Is there Kelly
Jabu
Matotwa.
Teles, we are
Yeah, everywhere. That's why I'm saying that, because I see now it's saying that these people are strong-headed. No, citing Gaga Kelly, everyone. Yeah. So we know, you see him on SAPC is famous. I don't know if it's him or the name changes also. If you know how to do to check, the name changes. I think it's interchangeable with.
So Baloyi then said,
almost said it. Yeah.
You mentioned you switched on your laptop before you started. Were these proceedings recorded? And Cronje said that's correct. So Baloyi said, were the parties informed of the proceedings being recorded? And Cronje said no. Cronje said, I informed him he has the right to a lawyer. He doesn't have one, he can approach legal aid. In front of his lawyer, magistrate. Angry, you said he had a lawyer there present. What was the need of telling him? What was the need of telling him that, he has a right to a lawyer while a lawyer was there? What was this lawyer doing? What was his purpose? So then she says that his answer was, I understand. Cronje said, I cautioned the deponent that he's under no obligation to make a statement and it could be used against him in court. His answer was yes. Yes, what? Did he understand what you were saying? That his statement was going to be used against him at a court of law. He says, I asked if he still wants to make the statement. He said, yes. I informed him he has the right to remain silent. He said he understands. Do you wish to remain silent or make a statement? His answer was to continue to make a statement. Then Cronje said, I then recorded that it appears to me as he is in sober and insane senses. It was recorded that the deponent was calm, maintained eye contact. He then made a request to have a bath. Cronje said, I then asked him how it came to be that he was brought to my office. He answered and said the police called me and asked me if I know of Senzo Meyiwa's death. It's written Meyiwa. He said he was...
Wait. Did it make sense to you? Does it make sense to you, Magistrate, that you're saying this person had not bathed for 8 days and the police called him and then he reaches you? How is that process? According to your thing, do you think that he might have taken that long to reach you, 8 days traveling, or what could be the reason? Did you ask why the person had not bathed, and you are saying how he came to see you? It was through the call, just one call, and then boom, you see you. Does it make sense? Does it balance?
It's not balancing. It's not. Unless if you can tell us that maybe it's not a taboo for a person
not bad for 8 days.
because you know the other.
Yeah. It's not
That's
same
how
more.
they roll.
It's not same more. But yeah, it could happen that
Maybe to her it wasn't a big deal.
it wasn't a big deal that a person had not bathed for 8 days and he was requesting to call his kid,
His family.
If really
We were not
this
even
person-
interested in finding out whether he had seen his family or spoken.
So that Miranda warning, I'm told that you can add. It's not
And
a
the fact that
fixed
there was a lawyer
situation.
present there, why didn't you ask the lawyer that, what is he talking about? I mean, that's your job. Why hasn't he spoken to his family yet? It wasn't of interest to her, it seems. So he said he was arrested on the 16th of June, 2020, and didn't understand what's going on and why he was not appearing in court. He then called his lawyer.
You see now, that's a contradiction also. Now he's not appearing in court. He hasn't barred for 8 days. The fact that he's not appearing in court and he hasn't barred for 8 days, does that now
doesn't.
mean that this person was held for 8 days?
He then called his lawyer. Cronje said he was asked if he has any injuries and if so, he should show them. He answered no, except old injuries he sustained underground and the one he sustained when he was young. Cronje said, did police or anyone assault you to make the statement? He said, no, not at all. Did anyone influence you to make a statement? He said, no, on his own. Did anyone encourage you to make a statement? He said, no. Cronje said the deponent was asked if he understands the content of the statement, and he said, yes. And Baloy said, was Mr. Ntanzi's lawyer present the whole time? And Cronje said, yes, he was. And the state concluded in Cronje's evidence in chief. And just before then, they asked her whether she was wearing her regalia of a magistrate.
And someone
she
is
said
raising
no.
something. Sorry to disturb you, Amen. Someone's raising something. What was the answer for Spear? What did he say? Yes, the police asked me to come and make a statement. So that question of did anyone convince you to come and make a statement is...
She's saying no at a later stage.
Yeah, but it can be canvassed because she's saying here that Ntanzi said, the police said I must come and make
a
a
statement at the beginning, yes, of
So,
the cross-examination.
There are a lot of
the
loopholes that these people can
taking
play
down of the
around with,
statement.
and thank you for a person who caught that one. It's a smart one.
Yes. The police said I must come and make a statement. He was speaking there. If only the interpreter could be the one. Anyway, so her cross-examination will only take place tomorrow. So Cronje will be cross-examined tomorrow after the defense listens to the audio of the alleged confession of accused number 2 overnight. So the court also heard that retired Colonel Mboto was available to be cross-examined as requested by advocate Ngome Zulu. The state said despite the court having ruled that Mboto be recalled back to the stand, exceptional circumstances for his recall still need to be presented by the defense for accused 1 and 2. Mboto had already been cross-examined by Mr. Ramosepele. Ngome Zulu will no longer be cross-examining Mboto and Bunareng on the pro forma that they've already been cross-examined on by Ramosepele. Both will only be brought back to court in the event that the court rules the confessions are admissible. Now, this was very interesting to see our beloved judge, quoting section 166 of the Criminal Procedure Act to wake up Advocate Buloy to say, you need to stop this from happening. This cross-examination, by the looks of things, our judge did not want it to happen. He said that later on, when
he was requested,
he said that
the man was budging.
Yes, he was giving grace to Advocate Ngome Zulu, something that he was giving as grace, but now he took it back. You know, when you do to a child, you give them the candy and then you take it back. That's what he did, and he did it by quoting Criminal Procedure Act, Section 166, while Advocate Ngome Zulu had quoted 167, which says otherwise, and it specifically stated about witnesses being recalled. But they backtracked him to 166, which spoke of a completely different witness circumstance, that they should not be cross-examined by 2 legal representatives.
Yes, you know why they are doing that standard. The reason for this, rooted in traditional and standard practices of courtroom proceedings and legal, it's proceedings and legal ethics in South Africa. It's just for ethics reason.
And it's amazing because he quoted a case to support this. I forgot the case, but he quoted a case to support this. And in the case, it said he couldn't be, whoever was there being accused who could not be, or whoever was there was a witness could not be cross-examined by 2 attorneys.
And there is a case that actually says, that very same case, it says that it did not make the case a case that was supposed to be dismissed or bad. No, but it was, I don't know how you explain it, but that does not necessarily break the law in a sense. That's what he said. So in the very same line where they are saying that this, what is the guy that they normally tell me?
State versus Shabalala.
State versus Shabalala.
I forgot the case. It was something like that. Where
they are saying, this is in terms of witnesses, State versus Shabalala. What is this one that says the case is not a chess game?
Rob versus Hepworth.
Rob versus Hepworth. Yes. So in the very same line, they are saying, they are talking about fairness and efficiency. So how is the case fair if I squandered?
Yeah, Akiri Rob versus Hepworth said it's not a chess game.
Yes.
You saw what happened to Ramosepele.
Yeah. He
That's why he called Advocate Ngome Zulu.
He seemed to not understand
what was going on.
This procedure. And it's normal. I mean, you learn every day.
So you, beloved judge, took that as a point for yourself in the state. You're like, yes, we won.
Do you understand? That's my feeling. And now that is the contradiction of what
you've been saying with the Rob versus Hepworth.
When you allow Baloy to sneak in certain things and put in certain things, that you've quoted that case all the time. When they say we are objecting on that. No. Guys, go read. Rob versus Hepworth. You today, when you are supposed to use that very same Rob versus H, you fail.
Dismally.
You come and defend.
You defend.
You now go
You
to
are
Shabalal. You are now reducing yourself to Shabalal. You see why I don't like this thing. We're playing hide and seek now. We move from RH. Now we are in state and Shabalala.
Now this is something when you are under such trial by ambush, you actually need interns or something to read these sidelined cases for you. And then when he does this, you quote, you get us another case that's going to debunk this case that he's using. Like, you need to, but then because this is South Africa and not everybody has resources like that, only the big legal firms would be able to do such magic under this trial that they keep getting ambushed with new evidence every day.
And listen, why they don't do this thing is it's number one, it's efficiency and orderliness. So basically, by so saying, they are saying that it is so that there is no confusion in that witness, so you can confuse yourself.
So the reason why Mgomezulu kind of caved in was because, number one, I don't think he has access to the transcripts yet. In fact, I don't think they are available yet. So he wouldn't know what was covered in the examination to the T and what Advocate Ramasipele covered to the T, so that he doesn't ask repetitive questions. Perhaps the cross-examination that he had prepared, there were some questions in there that were repetitive. And should he have repeated a question and our beloved judge picks it up, we all know what was going to happen, right? We all know what was going to happen. We've seen that movie play out before. So, yeah, they caved in. But I felt like maybe they shouldn't have. They should have fought a little bit harder. At times like this, I miss Mnisi. I really do.
I'm looking at these explanations that I'm giving here. Adversarial nature of proceedings. They are saying that you must balance the case. That's why there's examination and there's cross-examination. And then the other one is legal ethics. Now, legal ethics and professional standard dictates that advocates should conduct themselves in a manner that upholds the integrity and fairness of the legal system. Conducting an organized and coherent examination of a witness is fundamental part of these standards. So, that being said, if it was not coherent, or by bringing that person back, now it's no longer coherent, what if it is going to deliver what we call legal fairness to the person who's accused? I don't know if there's something like that. But basically, if me bringing you back, I ask you a question, and I probably didn't ask you a certain question, which I think there's a section for that, advanced questioning that this man was subjected to. Eventually, it was denied by. That's what the judge actually ruled on, to say if you are going to ask questions that were never asked before, it's fine. But if you are going to repeat some of the questions that Ramusipedi asked, then we have a problem. And I have a problem with that. If you give yourself as a witness and say, I'm going to testify, and you've got nothing to hide, why should you now put yourself in a difficult situation of having to confuse yourself and whatnot? I mean, if something is red,
yourself.
Yes, if something is red, is red. You know,
Yes.
you can come back and ask me tomorrow, it will be red.
Yes.
Unless my eyes close.
But it will be red.
So I have a problem with that.
So, yeah, we can open the lines so that those who are still awake hopefully can call in.
Yeah, you can call in, guys. I'll give you time. You can call in. The line is open. You can call in for those who would like to call. If you would like to call in. But yeah, it's very interesting. It's R&H because I cannot pronounce that thing. R&H case was not applied today. We were reduced to Shabalala, where we are looking at protecting the witnesses. So it's a surprise. But that being said, guys, please call in. And if you do not call in after this long day, I'm happy to sleep, to travel and then sleep eventually, if you guys do not call in. But yeah, it was interesting to see what is happening today or yesterday. It was very interesting. And I'm hoping that you guys are going to